Hello everyone, Paul here. Welcome to day 9. Now, if you guys watched my last lesson, I went over free traffic. Today on day 9 and day 10, I'm going to be going over paid traffic. There's kind of a lot to talk about with paid traffic, so I can't really go in detail on each of these. I'm going to touch on these very briefly. If you guys want me to go more in detail with this paid traffic, then just stay subscribed to this list, and I will be going over more strategies later on. But the ones that I know the most, I'm going to talk a little bit more about, and the other ones I'm going to talk about a little bit. But I'm going to talk more about the strategies that I know the best, and then kind of go over all the other ones as well. So I'm kind of just going to go and talk about the ones that I know the best, and we're just going to keep going on each strategy. The first one that I'm going to talk about today is this strategy is the one I started in the beginning, and it's the one that I'm the most familiar with. And so if you guys, when I first started online, if you've been watching my training, you'll notice that in the beginning when I talked about having a capture page and then having a bridge page and then leading it to a sales page. In the beginning, I may have already said this, but I only led people from capture page to a sales page, and I wondered why I didn't get that many sales. So the strategy that I did in the beginning was solo ads. And the problem is I understood solo ads, I understood the whole process. They became, even today, probably my favorite strategy. And I knew back then that the problem wasn't the solo ads. The problem was me communicating with my prospects. That was the big problem I had back then. So I did understand everything about solo ads and how they worked. So what I want to kind of go over with solo ads, since this is like my favorite strategy, I'm going to go over a couple resources that you guys can use if you guys want to choose solo ads as your paid traffic source. Okay, so the whole purpose of a solo ad is to tap into someone else's list, someone else that has a bigger list of prospects. So someone else that has actually been building their list, and it's what I've been actually teaching on my training along the way, to build your list. So there's several people out there that just make their living off of email marketing and growing their list. So that's basically what a solo ad vendor is you're tapping into someone else's list, someone else that has a huge list, and then what you do is you give them money, and they'll promise a certain amount of clicks in return. They're not promising, they're promising clicks. Okay, so for solo ads, I'm going to give you guys 2 sources that I use that is pretty good in finding some good solo ad vendors. So first, if you guys go, I've mentioned this before in my other training videos, but if you guys go to Udemy, you can find a lot of vendors here. So you would go up here to where it says Find Seller, and you'll be able to browse through many different sellers. Sellers that have all kinds of different lists. Some have lists for, but most of them are for online. You'd have to look through their profile to see what their list. So let me show you one as an example. So all these up here are promoted, but we can all look at what they're offering and how much, and people. You want to find people that have a huge response time offer, because you want to be in communication with each other. So let's just click on this one here and see what his profile looks like. Okay, so what we can tell from his profile When you're searching for a vendor on Udemy, you want to look for someone that has a lot of comments, a lot of likes. You want to look for someone that has a good response time. And you want to look if there's anybody that has sales. So we could hear from his description. 95% tier 1 traffic. And here we got little samples of his list. And right down here, we have how much he would charge. So if you wanted to do a small test, 100 visitors, he would charge $55. Now imagine growing your list to a big enough amount to where you can send someone 100 clicks. Solo ad vendors, they make a lot of money when they start growing their list. That's why people say the money's in the list, because you can make money on both ends. And I said this in my last day training video. You could grow your list and promote opportunities on your behalf, or you can have someone else pay for it for yourself, and you can get paid to send traffic to somebody else. So it pays to grow your list. You see that this guy can do all the way up to, he can do up to 1,000 visitors. So his list is probably massive right now, when all he has to do every day is send out an email. And he has his profile on Udemy, so if he wants to make... Now, Udemy gets a percentage, but you get another percentage. Let's just look at how much you would make on a solo ad. It all depends. I think it's 50%. Okay, like I said, he can do up to 1,000 visitors. So that is if they do take 50%, that is about $250. So he's sold 22 solos in the last couple days. 22 solos. Can you imagine that? 22 solo ads. And all he had to do was send an email. Okay, so we see most of his traffic comes from United States, and it's a lot tier 1. So we got Canada and United States. So when you're growing your list, my personal opinion is to focus on getting good traffic and focus on getting tier 1 traffic. So we can see that what he focused, he has 100% tier 1 traffic. And right down here on the bottom, we can see the results that his vendors have given him. So he's gotten 3,595 likes, and we get all different kind of comments. So you can see some of them didn't get any sales, but they probably got a lot of opt-ins. So these are all. So that's one thing you need to consider when doing this. Some of them haven't got any sales, and some still, they get a good opt-in rate, 68% on that one. This one got sales. So anyway, you want to look for positive reviews. You want to look for someone that has tier 1 traffic. And you want to have access. Once you find a couple good vendors on Udemy, you can just keep using them and scaling up. So on this one, you can go from 100 clicks all the way to 1,000. So it all depends on your budget. Anyway, that's how you would look for people on Udemy. And the main thing here is if there's any negative comments, you got to look for things like that. If they have a lot of negative or not a lot of not a lot of solo ads coming out. This guy right here is a Hall of Fame member, so he would be a good person to do a campaign with, my personal opinion. But anyway, that's how you would find users on Udemy. You just browse through here and you can find a lot of good ones. And you also have comments. So you want to also look for low likes. So you want to find someone that has a lot of likes. Definitely what I look for is in the $500 to $1,000 range for likes, like this one here. Someone that has under that number, I would stay away from them, and they do have one negative. So you guys can just browse through Udemy and you can browse through who you feel comfortable with and then just work out deals for solo ads. So that's the last I'm going to talk about Udemy. I am going to cover this later in my training, as a lot of what I do goes around Udemy. So let's move on to another source of solo ad traffic. Okay, so I'm going to put the link to this group below as a reference because I recommend this. And now I recommend joining this group. So what you would have to do, see, I'm pending right now. I came across this group a long time ago, and it's a pretty good group. And what they do every month or so, they highlight the top 5 solo ad vendors. So you could punch in these names, or you can find them down here in the group, and you can message them, you can friend them, and you can see what they have to offer about solo ads. So when you join this group, you're going to be asked to answer 3 questions, and once you get approved, you'll be in the member, the group name. So one thing you can do on this group is, like I said in my last training, is you need to start connecting with people. So this is a good group to connect with people because you can find a lot of solo ad vendors, and you definitely want these people on your friends list if solo ads is your type of paid method that you're going to be doing. So you can't comment here yourself. The only thing that they will allow for comments is when you have a confirmed campaign with somebody, because people come here to see how their solo ad went. So once you do a solo ad, you just make a comment. You'll list which the solo ad vendor name was. You'll list the type of solo ad clicks. It was clicks. You'll list how many you ordered, how many you received, opt-in rate, tier 1s, and if you got sales or not, leave comments. So then what you can do is you can start connecting with all these people. Once you start connecting with solo ad vendors, you can then contact them on Facebook, and you can then develop a relationship with them, and you can try out a campaign. You can do a small test to see how well their traffic performs, and if it performs good, leave a positive feedback on this group, and you also will have an established connection with a solo ad vendor. And all you really got to do is find some good ones out there, and once you establish some good relationships, you can just keep using that solo ad vendor. But I wouldn't limit it to just one. I'd spread it out over 2, 3, 4, maybe even about 5 or 6 vendors. And I don't want to limit you guys with just Udemy and this Facebook source. I also want to give you guys another one more area you can guys go to find some more solo ad vendors. Okay, so if you just go to not YouTube, if you go to Google and you do a search, and you just want to do a search for a topic like solo ads, solo ad vendors, and it should come up with some pretty good results at the top of Google. So right here we have a entry on a blog, so we can just check this one out real quick. Okay, so we can see that this blog's written on October 3rd, 2018. So it's pretty recent, October, it's about six months ago. So what we can do is you can scroll here on the bottom and we can find another list of solo ad vendors. Now these are the solo ad vendors that the guy that writes this blog recommends. Now, if you don't want to do things like, now this is what I recommend everyone do eventually. Eventually, you want to branch away from Udemy and Facebook, and you want to create your own website with your own solo ad service. And once your list is big enough, you can then become a independent solo ad vendor. But if you need Udemy for a while, you can use them. But eventually, my advice would be to become your own 100% solo ad vendor. And when you do that, you have to be pretty good marketer. You have to market your services. But by then, you should have some pretty good testimonials. It's what I recommend everyone doing. And you'll see right here, a couple of these people, they have independent websites. So I'm just I'll click on a couple of them. Okay, so we can see that this one was taken down. So let's try another one. Let's try this one, see if it. Okay, so here we go. We got one from Chris here. This is a independent website where he's promoting his services. He doesn't rely on Udemy and he doesn't rely on Facebook. He probably does some marketing there, but he has his own website. And that's, if you want to become a solo ad vendor, it's what I recommend you guys do. It's your end game being comfortable enough to become your own solo ad vendor. It's what I will probably do in the future. But right now, you can get your solo ads from these vendors. I'm pretty sure this website was built from ClickFunnels too. What you want to put on your site when you get enough clicks, you want to have testimonials. You want to have what kind of tier traffic you have, and basically just make it like a sales page. But you're offering solo ads, and there's a lot of well-known solo ad vendors that that make their living off of solo ads. I can give you a couple of resources, and what I'll give you is, you can see what this guy's charging here is 500 unique clicks, $240. 250 unique clicks for 100. 100 unique clicks for 50. But what I would do is, you don't know if this person is actually, if this website's outdated. I would contact them first before putting in any orders. I'd contact them, I'd tell them what your offer was, what you're promoting, and once you guys agree to something, then you can put the order in. But what I want to do is I want to go over two solo ad vendors that I've used before. So I'm gonna show you them real quick before I move forward. Okay, so before I continue on with my paid marketing strategies, and I'm going to give out 3 shout outs. Actually, 2 of them are solo ad vendors that I've used in the past, and one of them I have my eye on right now. So all these sources that I'm going to include right now, I'm going to put the link below this video if you guys want to check them out. Now, I don't know if they're still doing servers. For the most part, I think they're both, all these sources are still active as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just going to give them a shout out. Okay, so the first one is kind of expensive. I've only used them maybe once or twice. They're called Human Eyeballs, and they are pretty expensive, but here are the prices they have right now. And occasionally, you know, some around the seasons of the year, they give some kind of discounts, but you do have to catch them on certain discounts. But other than that, it's regular price. Right now, they got 250 fresh for 300, 500 fresh clicks for 590, 1,000 fresh business opportunity clicks for 1,150, and 2,000 clicks for 2,160. Now, what you can do is you can actually scale up. So you buy the smaller package, and if it works for you, scale up. And you can do that for each one of these. I've used them before, but when I've used them before, I've used them twice. And they were for opportunities that are, you know, I didn't promote a bridge page. It was like I said, I didn't understand it in the beginning, so I didn't brand myself when I went these solo ads out. But what I got out of these were pretty good results, so figured I'd give them a shout out because they are a little expensive. So if you guys are interested in buying from them, they do have an occasional discount, but other than that, they have these prices here. So I'll put the link below if you're interested in getting Human Eyeballs a try. Okay, another one that I used in the past. Now these are the vendors that I used in the beginning, so a lot has changed since then. And back then I did lead capture page with the sales page. So it'll be different when I start doing it up again, but I've done Peter's traffic for 2 or 3, I think a couple times, and I always got good results. His prices, now you may want to contact him personally because I don't know if he's still doing it or not, but I go down here and check if he's still doing solo ad campaigns. But let's just look at his prices real quick. So he must be constantly getting new leads into his list, because back when I did it with him, I don't remember there ever being like a 5,000 unique visitors. So he's probably been growing his list. So you could see that he has 5,000 unique visitors for 4,450. And you can get some pretty cheaper ones down here. This is tier 1 traffic. Okay, so you can get 100 visitors for 119. It don't get any cheaper than that. If you can't afford that, then I would stick to Udemy for now until you guys can actually pay for more. When you're doing this kind of traffic, I always recommend getting at least 500 visitors. But if you can't afford $495 right now, I would go with, I'd stick with Udemy for a while until you build up a little bit more with your list. This is Peter. His traffic has always been good. I've used him more than I've used Human Eyeballs. But yeah, if you're interested in getting traffic from Peter, I'll put the link below. If he's still doing it, if it's not, the link isn't below, then I've got with him and the traffic isn't available at this time. But I do recommend him because I've used him in the past more than 3 times. But now I'm going to show you guys the source that I'm going to be using. I haven't used this service yet, but I figured I'd talk about it right now since I'm on the topic of solo ads. Okay, so what we do here is you pick the kind of service you want. You can choose from, BizOp, crypto marketing, MLM, health and beauty, health and diet, personal development, internet marketing, and then you got a group here that is for crypto, Bitcoin groups. So that is a particular group if you want to target the cryptocurrency groups. So what you do is you go down here, you can click and see what they want to offer. Let's just do crypto just for the sake of it, since I'm part of that too. So on the bottom here, you can select your clicks. You can get 500 crypto-based people to your offer to click your links. So that is for 500 clicks, $450. 1,000 clicks for $850. And then 2,000 clicks for $1,600. So definitely going to be trying this soon, and if you guys stay subscribed, I'll go over my results with Traffic4Me, but I thought I would mention them as a resource because I'm going to be using them in the future, and if you guys stay subscribed, I will be showing you guys my results with them and see how well their traffic is actually performing. So if you guys are interested in Traffic4Me, I'll put the link and the other to the bottom of this video. Okay, so moving on from solo ads, you guys know that solo ad is probably my favorite form of traffic, so I want to spend a lot of time so you guys understand the basics of it. It is a favorite of mine, and I use it more than any other paid traffic sources that I'm going to be talking about on this in day 9 and day 10. This is my top recommended source of traffic that I personally use, but there are other sources, so I'm going to go talk about them as well. We're going to go over now media buys. Now, what is a media buy? A media buy is basically advertising, and it's banner advertisement. So it's like if you're driving by on the freeway and you see billboards with advertisements, that's basically what it is. That's the offline way of doing things. What media buys are is basically taking a company's banner that they provide. So if you're on ClickBank and they provide banners, you can take those banners and you can put them on somebody else's website, and you pay, just like solo ads, you pay them a certain amount of money to get an action done. There's different kinds of banners that you can buy. But let's look at a site real quick, and I'll get more detail about media buys. Okay, so here's a site right here. It's called Buy Sell Ads, and I'll put the link below if you guys want to visit this site. But you just have to create a advertiser account, and you'll get going. And what you can do here is you can advertise a banner on all these sites. So what you need to do is you need to figure out what you're promoting and figure out. But for the sake of this video, we're going to go over into the cryptocurrency section here. So what you can do is you can grab a banner from ClickBank or any affiliate site that has the banners available. So you can browse through here, and we can see how many monthly impressions each of these get. So I know CoinMarketCap's pretty good, Blockchain's good, CoinDesk. All these have a lot of traffic going into them. So if you found a crypto offer that had a banner, you can simply just look at each of these and you'll see where you can place your banner. So if we scroll here on the bottom, okay, so right here we can see if you grabbed a banner for 728 by 90, this is the top banner. You can have it placed on the top of CoinMarketCap. So right here at the top where you see this banner, that's where you can have your banner. So you would basically just add to cart, and then you can have your banner showing up there. So you can go through here. There's different sizes as well. We got 16 by 600 middle right. So if we look at preview, see where, so this is the big banner. So it'll be here on the top of the page. And then we have a side banner here, which will appear on the side of the website. And we have a top banner as well, smaller size right here, smaller than the top one. And then we have a mid banner. Mid banner is a small rectangular shape. So you definitely go through this site, and this isn't the only site that's available. There are other sites. You can actually go to sites like CNN, and you can go to all the popular sites out there, and you can scroll to the bottom of the page, and you can see if there usually will be a spot for advertising. You can contact them, and you can email them and see if they want to do any advertising on what you want to promote. So just contact people, network with websites, and see if anybody would want to host in the banner. So there's a lot of this is based off clicks. A lot of this is based off views. You got to do a little bit more research. There's cost per. There's very different. A lot of these websites will pay you based off of, you have to pay them based off of how many times that banner is going to be showed. There are other ways to where you actually get paid. You have to pay them based off of how many clicks you get. So you have to do a little research. So that's about all I'm going to go into about media buys. So you can definitely go to this website. I'll put the link below. It's buyselads.com. And then you can also check out any other site out there, a blog or CNN.com or any popular site out there, or scroll to the bottom of the page and see if there's any spot there for advertisements. Okay, so that's all I'm really going to cover in part one of the paid traffic. Tomorrow I'm going to go over the rest of them. In day 10, I'm definitely going to be diving into Facebook advertising and kind of set you guys up on a general way of setting up a Facebook campaign. And I'm going to go over a couple other alternatives as well as far as paid traffic. So after day 10, it will conclude my training series. And after that, I will be releasing my bonuses in day 11 and day 12. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. So stay tuned for part 2 on day 10, and I'll see you guys in my next one.